Kimberly Karen Motta was born on February 26, 1998, in the municipality of Manacor, located in the state of Amazonas in northern Brazil. She was the firstborn child of Nila Pinheiro Motta and had a younger brother named Rafael Mendes. From a young age, Kimberly stood out for her charm, and her smile combined with her beauty immediately captivated the hearts of those around her. As a teenager, the girl became passionate about dancing in the modeling business, dreaming of participating in beauty pageants. Her mother wholeheartedly supported her daughter's aspirations and facilitated the start of her career in this glamorous field. It is worth noting that Kimberly was not just a pretty dreamer but also a determined girl with clear life plans. She studied diligently and wanted to dedicate her life to medicine. After successfully graduating from school, Kimberly enrolled in a university in Paraguay. However, for unknown reasons, she could not adapt to the new country and returned to Brazil. There, she continued her education in a nursing training program while simultaneously developing her modeling career. In 2019, Kimberly's perseverance bore fruit. She was selected to participate in the prestigious My Amazonia contest. This was an important qualifying stage for the Miss Brazil competition, where the winner would represent the state of Amazonas. Kimberly performed admirably for her hometown of Manacor, and although she only placed 6th, her family was extremely proud of her. Moreover, after the contest, modeling agencies took notice of the talented girl, and numerous offers poured in. Meanwhile, Kimberly completed her nursing courses and decided to further her education to become a dentist. To fulfill her dream, she applied for a scholarship at the Metropolitan Faculty in Manaus. Fortune smiled upon her once again. Kimberly received the coveted grant. Filled with enthusiasm, the girl moved to Manaus and settled in the apartment of her maternal uncle, Henry Motta. At the same time, she expressed her desire to compete for the Miss Amazonas title again. This time, Kimberly took her preparation even more seriously. She trained intensively, watched her diet, and went for morning runs. Her modeling career allowed Kimberly to support herself independently. She earned money from advertising and later started selling clothes. She saved a significant portion of her income, dreaming of opening her own dental office. As a public figure, the girl actively maintained her social media accounts. She shared everyday photos, thanked her followers, and posted motivational messages. One of her followers was 31-year-old Rafael Fernandes Rodrigues, a native of São Bernardo do Campo in the state of São Paulo. It is known that his father's name was Nilton Rodrigues, while his mother's identity remained a secret, although she came from a very wealthy family. In 2017, Rafael arrived in Manaus to take a position as an analyst at the local labor court. He managed to secure the job, and there, already in Manaus, he met a girl whom he married after 8 months of dating. However, their marital bliss was short-lived. The man revealed himself as a jealous possessor and a tyrant. Trying to control every aspect of his wife's life, Rafael often staged jealousy scenes. At first, he only insulted her, but then he resorted to physical violence as well. Realizing that his wife could file a complaint with the police, which would ruin his career, Rafael bribed her with money and gifts, particularly a car, to keep her silent. His plan worked. The woman never filed an official report, but after 2 years of marriage, she filed for divorce. By the time Rafael stumbled upon Kimberly's profile on social media and started following her, he was already a single man seeking new relationships. One day in March 2020, the girl told her followers that she was going to a club with her friends. Enchanted by Kimberly's beauty, Rafael decided to seize the opportunity to meet her and went to the same establishment. When he arrived, the girl was already having fun inside, so upon noticing her in the crowd, the man immediately approached her. However, his overconfidence did not pay off. Kimberly did not reciprocate his advances and essentially brushed him off. But Rafael did not accept the rejection and continued to pursue the girl, bombarding her with messages on social media. She remained steadfast, making it clear that she was currently more interested in her studies and career than romantic relationships. This time, Rafael did not back down and managed to persuade Kimberly to give him her phone number. Over time, their communication grew closer, and within a few weeks, it turned into an intimate relationship. Of course, at that point, it was too early to think about an official marriage, but having achieved his goal, Rafael began demanding a more luxurious lifestyle. He rented an expensive apartment in the city center and purchased an Audi. With all these possessions and Kimberly by his side, the man loved to flaunt his status, telling everyone about his super successful career. Soon, Rafael's controlling behavior, which had manifested in his previous relationships, surfaced. He again began seeking to control Kimberly's life, forbidding her from communicating with any men, colleagues or followers. Naturally, this led to constant quarrels, after which Rafael would be the first to try to reconcile, sending the girl flowers and trying to reach her at any time of day. Kimberly's best friend could not help but notice this unhealthy alternation of conflicts and reconciliations. She warned that Rafael's behavior was dangerous and could lead to tragedy in the future. But the girl in love brushed off these concerns. At that time, she was spending more time in her boyfriend's apartment than in her own, although she never stayed overnight. This closeness inspired Rafael to propose to Kimberly to get married, live together, and start a family. However, the girl frankly admitted that she was not ready for such drastic changes yet. The rejection infuriated Rafael so much that he threatened to break up with her, but later apologized again with a bouquet of flowers. Kimberly told her mother how unhappy she felt in this relationship. After that breakup, the couple's relationship became ambiguous. On Sunday, May 10, 2020, the girl went for a run in the municipal park together with her Uncle Henry and other friends. At some point, Rafael joined them, but despite the recent quarrel, her uncle did not notice anything strange in their behavior. In the afternoon, Kimberly visited a friend, from where she sent Mila a message for Mother's Day. As night approached, she was going to call a taxi home, but upon seeing the high price, she decided to call Rafael and ask him to pick her up. He arrived around 10 p.m., and surveillance cameras recorded Kimberly getting into his car. Then they headed to the girl's house, where they were again captured by camera lenses. Some time later, Kimberly texted her Uncle Henry that she had gone to Rafael's place. Since she had forgotten her keys, she asked him to leave the door unlocked because Rafael had promised to bring her back later that night. At some point, the girl went to take a shower, leaving her phone on the bed. Rafael took the opportunity to unlock her device and started reading her correspondence. As soon as he saw how Kimberly was messaging other guys, friends, and acquaintances, jealousy took hold of him. He then went to the kitchen, took a knife, and hid it under the pillow. When Kimberly came out of the bathroom, unaware that her phone had been checked, she lay down next to Rafael. Thinking she was safe, the girl didn't even have time to second-guess anything before the enraged man attacked her and took her life without saying a word. Afterward, the murderer tried to conceal the traces of the crime. He wiped the blood from the bed and floor and washed the body in the shower. But he quickly realized that it was impossible to cover everything up. Then Rafael changed clothes, turned on the air conditioning to disperse the smell, and left the apartment. Surveillance cameras recorded him going down in the elevator and exiting the building. It was established that he got into the car at 1:30 a.m. Starting the engine, Rafael headed towards the state of Roraima, located on the southeastern border between Brazil and Venezuela. On Monday, May 11, 2020, arriving at his niece's apartment, Henry noted her absence and suspected something was wrong. At first, he managed to talk to Kimberly's friend, who also could not reach her. This further fueled Henry's concern, and while he tried to contact his niece through friends and acquaintances, exacerbating the anxiety, Rafael arrived in Roraima. His entry was registered while filling out an epidemiological form regarding the coronavirus, in which he indicated that he was heading to Boa Vista and planned to return to Manaus on May 26. In the form, Rafael also noted that it was a tourist trip. Meanwhile, Henry went to Rafael's apartment to check if his niece was there. But no one opened the door for him or answered. Then the man began asking neighbors if they had seen Kimberly or Rafael's car. But this, too, was unsuccessful. After futile searches, Henry turned to the police and reported the disappearance. He assumed that Kimberly and Rafael had gotten into a car accident or had been kidnapped. But law enforcement advised him to wait, saying that both were adults who could have spontaneously gone on an unplanned trip. Around noon, heading to Boa Vista, Rafael got into an accident at the turn of Virua National Park, about 30 kilometers from the municipality of Caracarai. The car overturned and was completely wrecked, and as a result of the accident, Rafael lost his documents and cell phone. Undoubtedly, he found himself in a difficult situation, but he had to seek help on his own. On foot, he managed to reach the nearest village and ask for assistance there. The man got into a truck whose driver agreed to take him to Caracarai, where Rafael was able to withdraw cash and hire a taxi to get to Boa Vista. There, he repeated this scheme, changed taxis, and this time headed to Pacaraima, a town located 200 meters from the border with Venezuela. His plan was to reach Spain through Venezuela, where he had distant relatives capable of sheltering him. Time passed, and there was no news from the missing couple. This only heightened the suspicions of those around them that something serious had happened. Only then did the police decide to take on this case. Law enforcement contacted Nilton, Rafael's father, and he gave his consent for the agents to search his son's apartment. The operation was carried out early in the morning on Tuesday, May 12, 2020. Rafael was detained in a shack where he was hiding. His guards, young men aged 24 and 17, were also arrested and charged with aiding and abetting an escape attempt. After his arrest, Rafael was taken to a police station in Manaus specializing in murders and kidnappings. Shortly thereafter, the police informed him that they had sufficient evidence of his guilt, and the man did not deny his involvement. Then Rafael was sent to a local pre-trial detention center, and the state prosecutor's office charged him with premeditated murder. After so many days of pain and uncertainty, Kimberly's mother Nila could finally breathe a sigh of relief, realizing that justice would prevail. For the residents of Manacor, the victim's hometown, the news of the arrest was also a joyous event. Before the trial, Rafael's lawyers claimed that his actions were caused by a previously undiagnosed mental illness. The judge ordered proof of this and scheduled a psychiatric examination for Rafael. However, after several months, this defense argument was rejected. The conclusion of the psychiatric examination showed that the man was mentally healthy and, therefore, could stand trial. The first hearing in the case took place on December 9, 2020, in the Amazonas State Court, presided over by Judge Anísio Rocha Pinheiro, with prosecutor Clarissa Brito representing the state. During this day, the testimonies of 8 witnesses, presented by both the defense and the prosecution, were heard. Rafael himself decided to exercise his right to remain silent. He also did not answer questions posed by prosecutor Clarissa and Judge Anísio. On April 12, 2021, after analyzing the case materials, Judge Anísio ruled that Rafael should be tried by a jury. At that time, Nila was fighting 2 battles, one for justice for her daughter and the other for her own life, as she had recently been diagnosed with leukemia. On October 27, 2021, the jury trial began, consisting of 4 men and 3 women. Nila was the first to testify for the prosecution. She had to participate in the session via video link while being in the ward of Getulio Vargas Hospital at the time. After answering questions from both the prosecution and the defense, Nila stated that despite the pain of losing her daughter, she held no grudge against Rafael. Next, other witnesses for the defense and prosecution were questioned, and the results of all the examinations were read out. Then it was the turn to interrogate the accused, who refused to answer questions from the prosecutor's office and only responded to the questions of his defense attorney, Josemar Burku. When asked if the reason for Kimberly's murder was jealousy, the man denied it and said that the motive for his actions was the lie that the girl told him to his face, about which he learned the whole truth by seeing the answer on her phone. After the witnesses' testimonies and the interrogation of the accused, debates began between the defense and the prosecution. Two prosecutors took turns examining all the presented facts, after which the presiding judge decided to adjourn the session and continue it the next day. When it resumed, the parties again exchanged arguments and evidence, after which it was time to allow the jury to discuss the case and reach a verdict. The court brought several charges against Rafael Fernandes, the essence of which was explained to the jurors. The young man violated Article 121 of the Criminal Code, which details everything related to murder. In particular, Rafael violated Clause 1, criminal motive, Clause 4, taking advantage of the victim's defenseless state, and Clause 6, feminicide. On Thursday, October 28, 2021, the Manaus City Court found Rafael guilty of committing a crime qualified as murder and sentenced him to 14 years in prison. However, this term was assigned with a reduction. In reality, Rafael should have received a longer term of imprisonment. Only a few hours after the conclusion of the And now, this story comes to an end. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss new episodes. Leave your comments and share your thoughts on today's story. See you next time and stay safe.